We need to give flowers to people when they can smell them. We need to give flowers to people whilst they can still smell them. Because let me tell you, when somebody passes, it's that person was a brilliant father of two, a member of the community. Everybody loved them, hard worker as well. You know, funny guy, he was this, he was that. He's a very nice chap. He lifted up everyone's day. If that's what he was, then I'm sure he would have at least liked to have heard it at least a few times in his lifetime. Do you know what I mean?
Flawless victory.
Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Mohsin Khan speaking here. A bit of off the cuff therapy. This is being recorded on Saturday 10th of February. I'm going to start to get into that kind of YouTuber creator habit of recording things beforehand and then editing later. You know, having some content ready and then so you're ready to roll it out rather than, you know, filming on the day, editing on the day, then releasing on the day. So yeah, starting to get into a little bit more of in a rhythm of things. Let's just say. I've got a few things I want to talk about. The first thing is just talking to the camera, and I heard on a podcast somewhere that, you know, you should just talk to the camera like it's just your friend on the other side. Like you just speak to your friend on the other side, and hopefully that's a skill I get better at. Hopefully it's something I get more used to, rather than trying to be a certain way of how you think everybody wants you to be. So yeah, and you just want to be. I want to be my authentic self. That's one of the reasons why I did this. Otherwise, if I'm going to carry on being fake, if I be fake, I may as well just stick to the workplace and grind that out for the rest of my life. Because the reason why I'm doing all this is because this is a passion of mine, and it is, of course, you want to get monetized and call it a day at work. Quite simple when you think about it. Also, when talking about YouTubing, content creating, I've had a look at a lot of small accounts on YouTube. Some only get a few hundred views, some 50, maybe 1 or 2K here and there. The amount of podcasts I've seen like that, you know, you could tell they're putting a lot of production into it. They're putting a lot of effort into it as well. I've not watched them all like fully, but I'm sure they're decent and they have a place for people out there, for someone out there. But honestly, trying to get to everyone's recommended page, trying to find your audience is so tough. Like this is all, you know, I've spent a few £100 on the lights and table and mic and everything you've seen here, but some people are going high production, proper high production, and it doesn't pay off. People just think that, oh, there's somebody else who's new started a podcast. I've seen it on TikTok, I've seen it on YouTube. Oh, it's just easy, anyone can do it. Really, is it easy? Well, I tell you that, it really is not easy. That I saw when I'm editing this, I'm going to look for the account, but I basically saw a podcaster, some guy in Dubai, and his podcast is him and his guest in like the back of a Rolls Royce or a Bentley somewhere, and they're driving, and he's got some decent guests on there. He's got some business type of people. He's got a UFC fighter in Marvin Vettori. You know, they're not small time fighters. You know, some of these guests, of course, if they came on bigger platforms, they do a lot bigger numbers. But I mean, what I'm trying to say is basically this guy has got a pretty unique idea in how he does his podcast. He's got some pretty good guests, but he's only got a few hundred views. Do you see what I mean? And that's just, I hope these people keep going as well. I really hope to see him keep going. But the moral of the story, the point I'm trying to make is, it is hard to get yourself out there on the front page, on people's recommended page. Really, really, really is a tough gig. I'll put the mic a bit low. It's covering my face last time. But yeah, I've come across a lot of these accounts, and because I've started looking at a few of these smaller accounts or smaller podcasts or smaller YouTubers, so I'll get a lot more recommended to me on my page now. But I like to check everybody out, see what they're doing, and I can see some people, they're yeah, I can see why. It does have maybe perhaps a lower retention rate and not many views and likes, things like that. Because at the end of the day, someone can put a high production in their videos, but the content has to be good. You have to have some sort of charisma. You have to draw people in some way, somehow. And if people find you boring, then they won't click on it. Hope nobody finds me boring. But let's see anyway. That's why I'm doing this. But yeah, and that's that really. That's just a point I wanted to mention on the podcasting YouTubing space. It's a mad one, but if you get your foothold in there, it can do you good. It can do you good. That's one thing I wanted to talk about, and so I did an off the cuff therapy episode. My last one, that was recorded 1 hour after I received the news before my auntie passed. Well, Carl Weathers passed, aka Apollo Creed. I'm a huge Rocky fan. Flipping love Rocky. There would have been no Rocky without Apollo Creed. R.I.P. the GOAT, Carl Weathers. Rocky, man, oh my lord. And then because he was such a good, well, at the start, the baddie or the villain or whatever you want to call it, the protagonist, antagonist, one of the two, because he was so good and he was such a memorable character, that's why we got that Creed franchise. Otherwise, if it wasn't that memorable or anything like that, then it probably wouldn't have happened, really. So, arguably, he's as important to the Rocky franchise as Rocky Balboa, Sylvester Stallone himself, in my humble opinion. But yeah, anyway, God, I need to stop dissecting so long. Right. But yeah, so... the last episode was received after my auntie passed, and it's been a whole 7-8 days since my auntie passed, and it's been a whirlwind. Been to the mosque, done the burial, done the funeral, been seen my uncle and loads of others in that time as well. A lot of family members, rejoicing with family members as well, reconnecting. Everyone's got a deep down sadness of what happened to my auntie. It was a very short battle with cancer. Hope my cousins don't mind me saying this. Of course, I'm not going to go into too many details. But yeah, it's a very, very short battle with cancer. It just goes to show if Allah, if God, says it's your time, then it's your time. Someone could be happy and healthy, and then you can just go like that, car crash, cancer, or whatever it could be. And oh my God, it's just got me reflecting, thinking, analysing a whole lot. Honestly, it just gives you a completely new perspective. Because this came as such a shock to everyone. Where do you even begin? Firstly, we need to give flowers to people when they can smell them. I said this to my family as well. We need to give flowers to people whilst they can still smell them. Because let me tell you, when somebody passes, it's that person was a brilliant father of two, a member of the community. Everybody loved them, hard worker as well. Funny guy, he was this, he was that. He's a very nice chap. He lifted up everyone's day. If that's what he was, then I'm sure he would have at least liked to heard it at least a few times in his lifetime. Do you know what I mean? What message does this tell us then? For these people that are still around us now, we should be appreciating these people. We should be giving our mother, our father, our cousins, our brothers, our sisters, our colleagues, or whoever it is, our kids, that gratitude, that time of the day, that appreciation. How are you? I appreciate you. You know what? You are funny. You know what? You are a valued member of this community. I hope everything's okay for you. I just wanted to let you know that this is a message for myself first and foremost as well. And I guarantee if we were to bring, you probably had, whoever's listening, you probably had people in your life that have passed as well. If we were to bring that person back who had passed, all of a sudden came back, we'd all be like, oh wow, be appreciating them, be loving to them more, be saying how brilliant they are, be there for them. Why aren't we here for the people around us every day? Why don't we show that appreciation? Surely these things are a sign. And of course that phrase I mentioned, or that quote, whatever it is, give people flowers when they can smell them. And the amount of flowers that go about at a funeral as well, again, Give whoever it is, actually go give them some flowers. Yeah, it's a good token, especially for women as well. But yeah, metaphorically speaking, give them their flowers. You are brilliant. You are this. You are that. You are a valued member of the community. You do hold this family together. You could say something about someone that they didn't even know they did well. They were the glue to the family. They were the backbone. They were the funny one. They were the one that kept everyone going. All these little things, all these things come out about someone after they're passed. And it's good that people are saying good things. And it's very, very good. But how often do we appreciate these people when they're actually here with us? I know I certainly don't do 100%. Probably not the worst, so I definitely give people praise. But yeah, that's a message to myself first and foremost. Just give people their flowers whilst they're still here. Another thing is as well is, you know what, I'm not even going to talk about that because I still got to be a bit careful of what I say. You don't want to upset the people you actually have in your real life. I've just deeped it right now that I need a trim big time. This beard, this hair, it's flipping terrible, man. I was looking for my hat as well to cover my hair. I couldn't find my hat. Oh well, we're just going like this, innit? We're just going like this, unfiltered. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I have been busy with the family, with these things in the past week or so. Hence why the content creation has taken a bit of a hit. And yeah, then of course, health-wise, it's not been right up there as well. So that's hindered a bit. And then yeah, just talking about health has got me thinking about productivity. I've not been as productive as I have been as well. I always go through during the working week, making notes of, you know, content creation ideas, and then, you know, ideas that things that I need to do in the weekend, such as cleaning, take my mum out here and there, etc. These type of things, or anything else it could be to boost myself. You know, whilst I don't have the time during the week, and then the weekend came, then I just felt a little bit funny before I've got a bit of a long-term problem. And then, yeah, I just didn't do much at all this whole Saturday. Yeah, so let's hope tomorrow is a better day. But yeah, I'll take a little break then. But yeah, productivity, that's also a thing I need to get better at. I need to start planning the day. I need to get up a bit earlier as well. Got into a little bit of a bad habit. I need to start setting myself mini goals each day. Even if it's one goal, even if it's one small goal, at least it's achieved. And then hopefully that one day you'll get better and better and better. And then 1% gains. I was watching a podcast, the CEO podcast by a brother called Raheem, and he had I forgot his name, but he had a guy there who's an entrepreneur. He does a pre-loved basically second-hand designer clothes. They really smashed it, made millions of money, came with Dragon's Den and everything, and it was very good because he was talking about these, you know, these marginal gains, just being obsessed with being 1% better, you know. Each day, just getting 1% better. Maybe there's a bit of content creating, maybe there's a photo you need to take, anything it is, just getting 1% better every single day. And then by the end of the year, you've made such a large increment as a person, in your business, in your YouTube or whatever it could be. So that's something that I really found inspiring as well. That's something that will stick to me, I think. And also on that same podcast as well, I don't think the CEO cast gets enough credit, in all honesty. I think it's pretty good. But there's a guy called Simon Squibb. He helps people out with their dreams of becoming whatever it is they want it to be. So he'll hand them out some money or give them connections or set up a GoFundMe page and things like that. And apparently he helps a lot of people out. He comes across as very authentic as well, and seems like a nice chap. Anyway, but the one point I want to mention about this guy is he said on his podcast right? Sorry, he said on the guy's podcast that it was actually by a bit of luck involved. He is where he is right now. That's what he actually said. And he said that most people won't ever say that. Everyone will be like, I'm self-made, I did it all, I did this all by myself, etc., etc. He had the humility to admit that, yeah, you know, of course he does work hard. He's had to do things he didn't necessarily want to do, you know, them tough days and nights and stuff. But there's a bit of luck involved as well. He goes, he met somebody and they invited him to a boat party, and he just thought he was going to a boat party. But from that boat party, he's introduced to somebody else, and that made a massive domino effect in his life and in his business career, and that kicked him on. So it's about being at the right place at the right time. You get so many people, and I was watching Dragon's Den today. I've never heard of this woman, but there's a guest dragon on there called Emma, some entrepreneur from South London. She was a bit yappy anyway. But she was saying, oh, I'm a self-made, I've made it, you know, I've done this all by myself, and I'm the female entrepreneur of the year. Oh, God's sake, man. This is what's wrong with people. I do have respect for people that do these things by themselves, that are entrepreneurs or businessmen and women or whatever. But when you start making it so egotistical, it just drives people away from you. And then when you become that kind of person as well, it's all me, then people will start to think, oh, that guy's a bit of a prick, isn't he? Oh, that woman's a bit of a prick, isn't he? Or isn't she? And then you'll be thinking, oh, yeah, that person's hating. Man, they're not hating, really. I mean, you're giving them a reason to be a prick. That's all that they're saying to you. But yeah, I do admire them people that are just a lot more humble about it, honest about it as well. And yeah, I had some other ideas I wanted to talk about. You know what, I'm going to make one big episode about the corporate life, right? And the amount of stories I have to tell you about the workplace, because oh my lord, that's a whole nother episode of that. I'm going to go proper into that one day. I'm going to proper speak my mind on my chest. I don't want to talk too much about, you know, the kind of the numbers and the YouTube journey and the subscribers and this and that and views, and because that's there. Nothing's changed too much from the last time I spoke. Not that thousands of people listen to this each day, but yeah, yeah. So, but yeah, all in all, feeling wise, it's just been a massive shock of my family member, dear auntie that passed away. Their kids as well, my cousins. It's definitely been a tough time, but from this there's been a lot of togetherness. There's been a proper family unit, and it's not felt this good in the wider extended family since my grandma passed in 2002. It's not felt like this. I hope and pray it's not a something that just goes away. I think the feeling inevitably will go away after a few months, like anything. But I hope that we do implement and make the changes, and you know, have the strength and have it in our hearts and minds to carry this on moving forward. Because we only start appreciating people when they're not here. We should really start to appreciate people when they're here. I've definitely started to make a few little changes, and I'm definitely going to start making some more changes. I'm definitely going to give my level best to meet people and make an impression when I meet people. When you meet people, say good. Right. Right, not phone battery. The recording time died down, so I had to delete it, for it other thingy, delete it, then do it again. That sentence didn't even make sense, but I got some space now. We're back in the game. Let's see how long. I think the last few ones have made them like 19 minutes. Let's see how long this one goes. Let's see what happens. Yeah, during the week I think about, oh yeah, I'm going to talk about this, or this is something I feel strong about, I'm definitely going to talk about it. Sometimes I think, oh, let's note it down, but that wasn't the point of off the cuff off the cuff therapy. This thing I'm doing here, off the cuff therapy, was just meant to be about me putting the recorder, pressing record. That's it. It's just me speaking with whatever's in the moment, with whatever's on my mind, and with whatever's going on, and speaking into the camera. That's what this was. That's what this is going to continue to be as well. It's not a planned one where I have certain talking points like the other videos, the football videos or wherever. They'll have a little bit of structure and this and that. I'm still trying to find my feet anyway in terms of what it is I'm going to be doing on YouTube, the things I want to double down on. I saw some pretty useful stuff on Ali Abdaal's, not Ali Abdaal, there's this woman, I forgot her name. The only way I can describe her is the British Oriental woman, but yeah, she did Ali Abdaal's course. She's done really well, almost like 500k followers, changed their life, blah blah blah. But yeah, anyway, them two were on a video together. I might put the clip in if I'm not lazy enough to do so, or I might leave it out. But she's basically talking about the kind of emotional hurdle you have to go through when you're doing YouTube. Of you're planning it, you're writing it, you're filming it, you're doing this, you're doing that. You press that publish button, and it's cricket noises, empty sounds, no one watching, and that's such a thing to deal with. So she was just talking about, yeah, sure. It was just pretty nice to hear somebody who's made it talk about how it feels to be like when you start off. So that's something that is that's just done good for me, because it's quite relatable. It's nice to hear as well. But yeah, what else could we talk about? I don't have things I can't be talking about. I just have things that slip my mind. Sometimes I start going into freeze mode on the camera. Sometimes I'm just doing a post-match reaction. A post-match reaction should just be expressing how you expressing how you feel, after the match. Oh, I thought this, thought that. Sometimes I just go blank because I'm speaking into the camera. It really really something that's annoying me. Hopefully I will get better at this. But yeah, I just can't wait today. I can't wait for one day until I can do this full time, and I can do other things with my money, such as put it in investment properties or whatever, and I don't have to work anymore. And then I can just talk about the workplace and how I feel, what I've experienced in my years, and how we're just so systemized. We're literally part of the matrix. I was with my sister-in-law yesterday, practically like my little sister, quite a bit younger than me. And then she actually made a very good point. I'm sat in a weird position. She actually made a very good point. She said that she's coming at the age now, so she's going to be 18 soon, and she's coming at the age where she said it's not talked about enough, how at this age you just make a big financial decision. You take out 30, 50 grand worth of loan, however much it is these days, and you make that decision just coming out of college. And you know what? It's not barely even a decision sometimes, because they just encourage it to you so much. Go to uni, because at the end of the day, the government, the system, they win. They're making money from you long after you've graduated. And I'm such an idiot, because I never thought of it like that. I just thought of it at the time when I was going through it. All right, this is something you do. It's just school, college, uni, job, and it's just the thing to do. Yeah, and it's just the thing to do. And she's right. It's absolutely not talked about enough. It's just not talked about enough. They can trust a literal kid or a very young adult at the least to take that much money out. But if that person asks for a loan to start up a business, you're not getting that. You're not getting that by any means. It is crazy. She also asked about that, because we've been giving advice to her, and my nephews and everybody else that's younger than me over the years as well. And she said, what's the most kind of shocking thing that I could tell her about that for her to be prepared for? I didn't say anything shocking per se, right? Apart from kind of like adult drama and things like that, that was pretty annoying. But I'll probably say the most shocking and sad realization is that them first few weeks when you're in a full-time job after you finish your education, that slow realization of that, right, this is all it is. You do your 9 to 5, you come home, and it's just a few hours to eat on your phone or whatever, and that's it, bang, it's the next day. You look forward to the weekend comes, and bang, it's the next week. Rinse, repeat, the months go by, the years go by. It's that realization at the start of, right, this is it. It's just the same things day in, day out. Just a few hours in the evening, that's all you get. If you want to extend your evening, stay up later, you're going to be more tired for the work the next day and you'll feel like an idiot. Alright, let's go to sleep earlier. Damn, that's cut my evening short. For some people who might be living on their own, having to do the cooking and cleaning, you come home, you cook, that's it. You'll probably watch about an hour of TV or whatever. You'll spend about an hour and a half cooking. You'll eat that in 10 minutes and it's all the washing up to do, and that's it. You probably take a shower, hit the toilet and go to bed. And a few Instagram reels to put you to sleep. Pretty sad life in all honesty. It's, yeah. They just want you, it's just consumerism, they just want you to be a consumer, that's all that they want you to be. Stay blind and deaf, scrolling through social media. Keep purchasing things from Amazon, TikTok Shop, this and that. They don't want to promote any good things like investment products or whatever. They don't want to tell you about buying houses, learning about taxes. They don't want to tell you about or encourage any of that behaviour at all. But yeah. What is life, man? That's what I've been asking myself in the last week or two. What is life actually? I had on my mind at the moment. I probably do get other topics on my mind that come back to me later. I was like, oh, I should have talked about this. You know what? I might have to change the rules. I might have to note down what I want to talk about, just because sometimes I forget. But I'm definitely not going to structure it and make points like talk about this, and this. I'm just going to talk about certain points, and then be like, yeah, when it comes to this, all right, we're talking about this, cool, and then lay it out. But yeah, I definitely want this to be unfiltered, all of that kind of good stuff. But yeah, that's all that there is for today. Thank you very much if you did listen to it all. Not sure many people do, apart from our own support network, but you know what, we'll carry on. We'll keep being rubbish at something until we get better. That's all we can do, keep turning up.
Fatality.